Hi, this is Chico Resch. You are listening to the Let's Go Devils podcast on the Primetime Radio Network.
Happy Devils Friday! It's actually Saturday. No, it is Friday. Welcome to Game Day Live.
Friday.
By the Let's Go Devils Network and the Primetime Radio Studios. My name is Vinnie Parise here with Shorts Guy as we get you set for postseason New Jersey Devils hockey as they take on the Carolina Hurricanes in Game 2, Round 1, Best of 7. Thank you to everybody for watching on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, Twitter Live, and Twitch. This is a 1-0 series deficit for the New Jersey Devils, looking to tie it up tonight. My man, Shorts Guy, I have no idea what day of the week it is. How you doing?
I'm doing good, and thankfully I know what day of the week it is because I'm just happy I'm not working tomorrow. How are you doing, Vinny?
Yeah, so I went up to Wisconsin for the weekend, so that's why I have no clue what day it is. Today felt like Saturday to me because yesterday felt like Friday, and so that's why I'm kind of in this weird setting right now, like not my typical setting. So, I don't know what day of the week it is. I rarely ever do anyway, though, so I don't know who I'm kidding.
I was just going to ask. It looks like you're in a new exotic setting up there, and I'm assuming you're by a lake. Am I correct in that assumption or no?
Yes, I'm near the
All
Wisconsin Dells, so that's always fun.
You Midwesterners love lakes.
Yes, that is a fact. Lake Michigan, you get up to Lake Ontario, you're really in like the deep waters. But I've been in the ocean once in my life, but yeah, we love a good lake.
Oh man.
As long as there's no hurricanes.
They don't get bad until about August anyway, so we should take care of them before then.
Absolutely. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. I'm having a beverage, getting ready for Game 2, and hoping for a much better performance. It just seemed to be right from the start on what was that, Wednesday night. They looked tired, and once that game got going, and I started watching it, and I started thinking about my prediction for the game, and I was like, you know what? As much as I hate betting against the Devils, I did call this. Either at the beginning of the series or with the Rangers or during it, that there would be some kind of an emotional letdown afterwards. And really thinking about it, if I really would have thought with my, 3 brain cells that I have, probably predicting against the Devils would have been the better bet, knowing what they went through against the Rangers going to 7. And game 1 of whoever was going to win that series, game 1 against Carolina was always going to be probably a loss for whoever came out of our series. So it really didn't surprise me. But regardless, they need to make some adjustments and to pick it up for tonight's game.
Yeah, 100%. And even Rod Brind'Amour touched on it. And Rod Brind'Amour has no reason to compliment the Devils after just smoking them in game number 1. He was like, yeah, they just played the series a couple days ago and had an emotional series against their biggest rival, and we were waiting in Carolina for them to get home or for them to get there. And they had to turn it around in 48 hours. We had 3 days or 4 days to rest. And for Rod Brind'Amour to say that, I was kind of taken back. I was like, oh, he must be on to something. Because for the coach of the other team that really probably has no reason to say anything nice right now about his opponent, I was like, okay, well, that means the Carolina Hurricanes are certainly not going to take game 2 lightly. They're probably expecting a much better effort from the Devils, so why shouldn't we? And I'm coming into this game thinking about how they responded to some adversity in round 1, and I'm like, okay, if there was a team to trust that they'll come out and play hard today and split the first.
Yeah, Vinny, for some reason, I don't know if you can hear me, but your microphone just Vinny's okay. Vinny's microphone. Vinny.
Did it work now?
Yep.
There we go.
You're good, Vinny. You're good, Vinny.
Did I just give that whole soliloquy while muted?
Yes.
Yes.
Nice.
Awesome. We'll never know. We will never know.
I was talking basically about how, when you play a road playoff series, you just have to. I must have bumped it. That's just a dumb mistake on my part. When you're on the road team, the underdog in the series, they lost the Metro by 1 point. You just got to win one of the first 2 games, and that's normally the way that you attack the series. You're like, okay, let's win one of these two games. And then the home field advantage shifts to us because then 4 of the next 5 games are at our place. And then you don't have to worry about
Mhm.
game 7, you hope, being on the road. But then again, we talk about the road team not mattering as much as it did even 2-3 years ago. Carolina, they were expecting the Devils. It was a letdown type of game for them. I'm expecting them to be much better in this series.
Yeah, I'm expecting the Devils to come out much better tonight. They've made adjustments. I mean, my hope is it's not a repeat of games 1 and 2 against the Rangers, where we blew it 5-1 game 1, we blew it 5-2 game 2, and then we made some real adjustments and went away on the road. They have to make these adjustments a little bit quicker tonight, because, like you said, if we can win tonight, bring it to 1-1, and then out of the next couple games, we have 2 at home, 1 away, 1 at home. So if we can make it 1-1 tonight, then we can absolutely win it in game 6 here at home. And I think that would be the best situation for the Devils, especially because I'm trying to get a ticket for game 6. So I would love to see that. And I would love to, we didn't get a chance to talk about it on Wednesday, but just exercise that ghost. 2009, I was there to witness that 90-second debacle in Game 7 where we were about to win a series and then lost it to Carolina. So I would love to be able to see the Devils finish off Carolina at home next Saturday with Game 6, just to get rid of that demon, because that was probably one of the worst 90 seconds of my life, watching that debacle. But an absolute, we got to get there first. An absolute response to Wednesday's game has to come tonight, and the Devils have to come out much stronger. And they were tired. You could just see it on the ice. They were tired. They were second to the puck. They were slower than Carolina. They did not have that bite that they normally do. Carolina brought it right to them, which you saw in the series with the Rangers. When you bring it to the Devils, sometimes it works in the favor of the opposing team. So the Devils really need to bring it to Carolina and bring our game to them instead of letting them bring their game to us.
Akira Schmid was pulled last game, and it looked like it was largely because the team in front of him wasn't playing all that well, and Lindy Ruff said, let's change something up here. He's going to start tonight against Carolina. He was in the starters net this morning. He will get the nod tonight. Do you agree with that decision?
I do. Because I was watching, I love Vitek. I think he's a great goalie. He's a Czech goalie. He's got some Hasek flair to him, and I love that because I have a little Hasek flair to myself. Because when you grow up watching someone like him, that's what you do. But I think Akira is the calming influence on this team right now. And thinking about it, Akira was pulled in Game 6 and came out in Game 7 and was incredible. He may be one of those goalies where when you yank him, his next start, he goes out there saying to himself, I'm going to prove everyone wrong about the last game. And if he comes out and pitches a game like in tonight, like he did in Game 7 after being pulled, then it's pretty safe to say that that's his mindset. And that's what you want out of a goaltender. You want a goaltender that's going to go out there and change your game and just be like, yeah, well, if you got 5 past me last time, you're not doing it again.
Yes, I completely agree. And they're on the road for one more game before heading home back to Newark. He hasn't given up a goal at home, which I think is just remarkable. Akira Schmid has not given up a goal at home. And I don't know if that's the Rangers with, the chess match. Gerard Gallant was severely out-coached by Lindy Ruff in the first series after the first 2 games, because I think Gerard Gallant out-coached Lindy Ruff by a landslide in the first 2 games. But, we'll see what happens in the second game. You're right. He hasn't had 2 bad games in a row in the playoffs. He really hasn't had 2 bad games in a row in the NHL. And the Devils in front of him, let's face it, they were dog crap in the first game of this series. They were 11-1 outshot in the first period. That's not going to help any goalie. I don't care if it's Dominic Hasek or Brodeur or Patrick Waugh all in their prime. Don't care.
And you can barely call that one shot that we had a shot on goal, because it was just a bloop into onto net, and it just kind of happened to hit the net. We were tired. and I know you like stats, and I heard this today. After a loss, the Devils have like a 700% win record, or it's something like that. I heard that on the radio today. It's there's only like 3 teams that were better than the Devils coming off of a loss, and the Bruins were one of them, and the Bruins are out. So the Devils respond well to a loss like that last night. So um, I'm sure I've got that stat screwed up somehow, but I heard it today and I was like, oh, I have to remember it. And then, one of my 3 brain cells has forgotten it, as
Yeah, well,
mentioned
that's when
earlier.
your 3 brain cells became 2 brain cells, and I'm not making fun of you because
Exactly.
I only have 1. Um, they're playing this Carolina Hurricanes team that's equally as fast as them, equally as tenacious as them. What they were in game 1 was more aggressive than them. Excuse me. I think a player that would help the New Jersey Devils forward unit complete an attack better in this game is Timo Meier. And Timo Meier
Hmm.
obviously did not play in game 1 of the series because of the hit to the head from Jacob Trouba in game 7 of the first round. Well, Timo Meier skated this morning. He's probably, I know he said this last show, and I know we jinxed the H out of him because right when we went off air, they announced he was, or no, we did announce on air that he wasn't playing. But
Yes, we did. We
I
did.
think he is going to play. I'd be stunned if he doesn't play in this game. He's day to day skating before both games, and today he was the first on the ice. He was waiting outside the Zamboni door as they cleaned the ice before it
Hmm.
started. And so now I'm thinking there's no way he doesn't play. They clearly need him because not really many players on the Devils, maybe Heischer, maybe Bratt sometimes, can kind of be a train to the net. Similarly, like Jack Hughes is all skill on the outside and let's collapse it in. Timo
Yep.
Meier, he just goes straight to the net every single time, and he's a
Yeah.
bulldozer while doing it. And Carolina's hurt; their top 6 is all sorts of messed up. There's no Pacioretty, there's no Teravainen, there's no Svechnikov. So I think a guy like Timo Meier can wreak havoc if he's playing 20 minutes in this game.
Yeah, absolutely. If he can get on the ice for us and be in tonight's lineup, I think that's a game changer for the Devils. And not only physically, but he has we all know he can score goals, and he's got to get on that score sheet, and he can be that other. They he can definitely be another scoring threat to break through because Carolina, uh, their goaltending is not as good as ours. I think we have the advantage in goaltending in this series. We just have to exploit it, and I think someone like Timo Meier can do that. But kind of interesting, you bring up the morning skate. Timo Meier was ready to go. Carolina was skating in their lines and in their pairings. This is the second pregame skate the Devils have had down there in Carolina. We have not skated in our lines or pairings at all. Like talk about trying to outcoach somebody by not even putting your lines together for your morning skate so no one knows what the heck is going on. That's kind of that gamesmanship that I think Lindy Ruff is trying to show here. Like, we were getting line combos all round 1. And here we are, game 2, round 2. We have no idea who's skating with who. Like we all have an idea of who's skating with who. Let's not joke about that, but no line combos in today's morning skate, which is, I think it's just an awesome thing that Lindy Ruff is doing.
I do too, and I have a theory on why the difference between round 1 and round 2. In
Okay.
round 1, the New York Rangers skated the exact same lineup almost every single game. The only change they made was they broke up the kid line after game 5 or game 6, and they
Mm-hmm.
put Panarin with Hedel and Lafreniere, maybe. They mixed one thing up. They moved Kako up and Panarin down. There was one minor change they did, but for the most part, their lines and D pairs were the same in all 7 games. Hurricanes, Rod Brind'Amour, Rod the Bod, he's afraid. He's not afraid to do anything. And
No.
I also think there's a chance we see Luke Hughes in this series because of the way that Carolina plays and the way that Carolina defends. It begs for the opposition to use a player with Luke Hughes' skill set. Now, I'm not saying they're going to, but I think if there was a team that we see Luke Hughes skate against in these playoffs, it would be Carolina.
Yeah, and I think it would be very interesting to see Luke Hughes come out there because we saw him in that last game against Washington to end the regular season, and he was pretty damn dynamic. I mean,
Yeah, he
scoring
was
the
a
game-winning
force.
goal. he was a force. And then that game-winning goal was quite an effort on his own part as a defenseman to bring it down, put it on net, do a wraparound, whatever. So the kid has skill. But the other thing that would do is I want to say that would really energize Jack to be on the ice for the playoffs with his brother. Like, how much more can you get Jack jacked up than by having Luke out there on the ice with him for a playoff game, a meaningful game? Like, I know the regular season, all the games are meaningful, but this is a really meaningful, and all these playoff games are meaningful. So it'd be just something to motivate Jack as well, not just Luke, but Jack too.
Yeah, I completely agree. And you know what? It might motivate everyone. I mean, that team went banana lands when he scored the overtime game winner. I mean, it was Luke Hughes assisted by Jack Hughes and Nico Hischier. I mean, what three players in the organization are more important to the last 5 or so years, and then the upcoming next 10? I mean,
Oh my gosh.
we could look at the Hughes Hischier trio the same way we look at the Danico, Stevens, Brodeur, Niedermeyer. I mean, I know that's 4. Pick a fourth to throw in. Maybe it's
Yeah.
Maybe it's Brat. Whoever the Dougie Hamilton. 4 or 5
Akira,
guys who's part
you
of like
never
a
know.
core. Exactly, just 4 or 5 guys who are part of a damn core that will lead this team to glory for a long time. Those 3 might be the most pivotal, and I just think it wakes up everybody when the first game he played against the Buffalo Sabres. He kind of got his feet wet. They went 11-7. He played a couple minutes here, a couple minutes there, got some shifts. But in that game against Washington, they kind of just put him out there, and he's joining the rush, and he's down low, and he's making sure his centerman is back to defend for him. And there were times when he was playing for Michigan, he got caught. And people kind of use that as like a knock against him. Like, yeah, he's got all these points. And year 2 was better than year 1 in terms of the way he defended. But I also think that's just a product of playing college hockey. Now that he's in the NHL and he knows that everybody around him is on his level, if not better, I think that makes it easier for him to play his game. Where in college, unless you're talking about Adam Fantilli or Kent Johnson or Owen Power, his teammates just weren't on his level, and neither were his opposition. So that's kind of where I stand on that. I would play him.
Yeah, but also Bryce made mention of this during Game Day Live for Game 7. The Devils are very good in knowing that if there's a rush, a forward's going to be back to cover. So the Devils are just such a solid team defensively that they know that they have some puck rushing defensemen, and that when whoever it is that's going to rush the puck up, there's a forward that knows his role, or at least knows that a role. If you're that close forward, you have to drop back and you have to cover for that defenseman that's rushing up. So the Devils have this team atmosphere to where they're willing to step into roles that are maybe a little bit outside of their normal roles, because they know that they have to do this in order to keep this team going forward. And they're constantly on the lookout for their teammates doing things that may not be normal to their position, but there's always coverage coming back, which is probably one of the best hallmarks of this team right now, is how this team plays like that.
Absolutely. And if you're on the YouTube, start throwing in your predictions. I want to see 10 to 15 predictions in there so I can read them out loud here as we end the show. But I'm excited for tonight's game. I see people in the chat saying stuff about, Hughes must get in the board tonight. And, to me, I do not look at player statistics when it comes to the playoffs. Like, he sure didn't score a goal. Big whip. He had 5 assists. He set up a game winner. He was outstanding defensively. And the team won the series. Timo Meier, he didn't have a point. Don't care. He was outstanding. Yep. I thought he was the greatest player to never have a point in a playoff series in the history of the NHL. I'm being dead serious about that. He was outstanding without having a single point. He was in the Rangers' head, and I can't wait to see him get back in the lineup tonight. That's going to be very, very important. But, is there anything else you're looking at when it comes to this Carolina Hurricanes team and what the Devils might be wanting to improve before they head into game number 2? Like, what are you thinking about?
We have to bring our game to them. It's same. It's really the same thing that happened against the Rangers. When the Rangers brought their game to us, we did not do well. We have to bring our game to Carolina put them on their heels, and we'll be fine. I think Akira, we will find out tonight if he is going to respond again like he did after Game 6 to being pulled and just pitch a fantastic game. But the Devils have to bring it to Carolina, and I want to say that Wednesday's game was exhaustion. It was an example of exhaustion. And you said 48 hours earlier. By the time that Game 7 ended, it was something like 44 hours between when that game ended and when they were dropping the puck against Carolina. So it was less than 2 days. And it sounds like a lot, but these guys, it takes a lot to play 2 games in a row. And I think with what they went through on Wednesday and now what we have tonight, I think the Devils are going to come out much stronger than they did Wednesday, and we're going to have a much better game tonight.
Yeah, I completely agree. So, I know it's your favorite time of the show.
Oh, yeah. Always wrong. Always wrong, baby.
Favorite time. Yeah. You know how, is it Mac Miller? Or no, who's the guy who has the always tired tattoos? We're going to get always wrong. Written in cursive. Always wrong.
Always wrong.
Tony P says 7-1 Devils. Joseph says 5-1 Devils. Selecta says 4-3 Devils. Richard says 4-1 Devils. Ralph at 6-1 Devils. Ramona says 3-2 Devils. Judy says 2-1 Devils. Ryan 3-2 Devils. Shane 5-3 Devils. Cassandra 3-1 Devils. Antu says 2-1 Devils. Felix says 4-1 Devils. We're not getting any negativity here. I expected someone I thought was going to throw in a Canes and just really get under it. Art says 3-1 Devils. Now, if you put something against Canes now, I'm not reading it because you're just doing it because I said that. But Shorts Guy, what do you have as your prediction for tonight?
I'm going to say 3-1 Devils tonight.
Ooh, I need it like I need air. I need it like I need air. If Sam Wu wants to text me his prediction real quick, I will for sure get that out there as well. But I think with the Devils today, I get a vibe that they don't wait a second time to get their legs under them in this series. I imagine them playing like one of those really, really good Devils games. They were not a pushover for Carolina during the regular season. They went 2-2-0 against them during the regular season. Now they're 2-3-0 against them. When you combine the playoffs and the regular season together, I am going to say the Devils are going to send a message tonight. I think. I hope I'm right. I'm going to go 4-1 Devils. I think they have a chance here to really be like, hey, we lost game 1. We're going to lose again in the playoffs, but we're not backing down to anyone. 4-1 Devils. Mm-hmm. So I hope
and that's the thing with this team is this team can adjust, and they adjust well. And I think that Lindy Ruff and the rest of the coaching staff is going to have them adjusting because even though it took us 2 games to adjust to the Rangers, as these playoffs go on, you have to adjust quicker each round that you get to because a round can get away from you very quickly, especially on the lack of rest that we have currently. So my hope is that they're going to make these adjustments and and come out stronger tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. So I hope everybody enjoyed watching today's show. I know that we have a big game here, and there's probably a lot of anxious people getting ready to participate watching this game and getting kind of excited for it. So is there anything else you want to add before, we head into this?
No, it's just the Devils got to come out stronger, and I think the Devils will. But let's not. I'm going to keep bringing this up. Like if people are getting anxious, let's not forget we're ahead of schedule. And hey, I'm happy to be here in the second round. It's just so good to be here in the second round. And you know what? Let's just have some fun with this. And I just hope that we can beat Carolina tonight and have a really good, fun atmosphere Sunday, when we're going to be doing Game Day Live from Edison Place outside of American Whiskey on the big stage out there on the street. It's going to be a good time. We have a good We have a guest lined up as of right now, so we'll announce that when we need to. But let's get through tonight. Let's have a win. Let's have a good party atmosphere for Sunday, because that's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, absolutely. And while we're waiting for Sam to give his prediction and hit the music for us, I was gonna ask you, do do you have like that kind of like feeling like, okay, we're in the second round, we got through the Rangers, like we're playing with house money now, or is that kind of like a loser mentality? I don't really know.
I don't think it's a loser mentality. Not with this team, not with this season, because you know uh, we're ahead of schedule, and this is the Stanley Cup playoffs, and anything can happen. It's you know I'm more than happy just to be where we are right now. I know we did well in, we had a banner year for this team, which we were not expecting, but I'm just happy to be here right now. It's the years that are going to come after this, where it's like, all right, well, we really need to win now. But right now, we're ahead of schedule. We're here. We're in the second round. I'm happy just to take it as it is and just to have some fun with it. That's my goal for tonight, for Sunday, for next Tuesday, especially when we're there live outside of American Whiskey. Let's just have some fun with this. Like, we're in the playoffs. Like, we were not here for years. Here we are. Let's just enjoy it right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And there is a little bit of breaking news. Akira Schmid did lead the Devils onto the ice, which was kind of confirmed by him skating
We
in the
knew that, yeah.
starters net this morning. Timo Meier is on the ice for New Jersey Devils warm-up, and that
Yes.
means he is in tonight for Game 2. So that's obviously really, really important. Charts guy, I wish I had control of the music.
I know, because I want I want to go get some food before I have to watch this game. But Timo Meier being in the lineup tonight, I think, like you were saying before, he can be a game changer for this team, and his physical presence is going to be a big deal. He does those hockey plays that unless you're really familiar with the sport or have never played the sport, you don't really get. It's that checking presence, that being a pest presence. And I know, like, personally on my team, I have a defenseman that can score, but he is a pest. He is a pest, and people hate playing against him. I've had teammates the same way, that they're a pest, and those guys are just so worth their weight in gold when it comes to a real big game, because you know that they're getting under the skin of anyone and everyone on the other team. And those guys can change a game from what could be a loss to a victory, just because they go out there and they do those small, needly little things that annoy people and throw them off their game. And that's really the big deal, is you're going to throw someone off their game, maybe cause them to make a mistake, which leads to and then your team is energized in that other direction.
Absolutely. And with all the skill that Timo Meier brings to the table, I'm thinking about the lines that they can produce and the chemistry that could come from the power play, and putting him in front of the net and moving a guy down, that puts Andre Palat in a better position, it puts Eric Holla in a better position. We know what the top guys are going to do in the lineup. It's it's good that he's back. I'm happy that he's back. They made a big trade for him at the deadline for a reason. They see him as part of the future for a reason. So, I'm excited to have him in.
Yeah, so am I. And this could be what gets the series back on track for the Devils tonight. And maybe we're seeing how much he really does mean to this team in the short time that he's been here. And I have some more breaking news for you, Vinny. I have Samu's prediction tonight, and I'm assuming this is the Devils' victory that he's predicting. His prediction is 102-0. No, I'm kidding. It's actually a reasonable score.
That's fake news. No. Go with the 103-0.
No, it's 5-2. There is Samu. Yeah, it's 5-2. Sam, I'm assuming you mean a Devils victory in that prediction.
Yeah, I mean, go ahead, Sam.
They're going to run up the score. It's kind of like the old college football days when you're trying to get in the rankings. Before the BCS, you just run up the score so the AP people will like you, the AP voters.
Yeah. Is there even 100? Yeah. They're just going to score 2 goals every minute.
It's possible with Jack Hughes and Jesper Brown.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's got to be an empty. It's got to be an empty net situation the entire time.
Yeah.
I still don't even think they would. I think if the net was empty, I don't think if the net was empty the whole game, I think the final score would be like 25-20.
That would be awesome. That would be awesome. Well, Sammy, I think we're ready for the music, Sam. Whenever you're ready to hit that button, if you can find it.
Oh, yeah. Hit the music. We got Schmid versus Anderson in net. Timo Meyer's in. That's exactly what New Jersey Devils fans were hoping for when they were waking up today, getting their coffee, getting ready to play a hockey game. Shorts guy, it was a great show. Obviously, great conversation and, some in-depth breakdown of what went on last game and what we expect to see tonight. I hope everybody watching on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, anywhere you were, enjoyed yourself. Go enjoy the game. Make sure you tune in to Devils After Dark after the game. And as always, let's go Devils.